Hello, I'm Valentin Mandache, the architectural historian, and I would like to present you the Otesani church in Valcea county, the province of Oltenia, southwestern Romania. It has been built in 1740 and extended and repainted in the mid-19th century, 1850s, as is its magnificent portal, the gateway to the courtyard of the church. The Wallachian style churches usually have an entrance veranda guarded by magnificent columns. In this case it seems that it has been covered by a curtain wall and the nave extended. But the decorative scheme is typical of the western end verandas of the church, in this case on the western front. You can see in the middle the medallion with Mary and Christ child is dedicated to Annunciation of the church. On the left hand side at the base is a panel with a paradise, and on the other side at the base, shown here, is a panel depicting the hell. To me is my favorite in the Wallachian style decorative church panoply. We can see some crosses peppering the courtyard. They probably belong to priests who served there. And this one in the foreground, it has a hat on it, typical of southern Romania, which is an echo of the Bogomil faith of the early Middle Ages. We can see now the bell tower right above the pronaos, and the main decorative scheme of the nave, most of it is covered in the depictions of philosophers, ancient philosophers, which predecessors of Christ. And on the northern side is continued with a frieze with old prophets of the church. It's typical of the 18th century Wallachian style decoration, in this case rendered in the mid-19th century. At the base of the frieze we can see bricks, the integration, bricks colored in red, yellow and blue. Is the tricolor of the Romanian flag, because the church was repainted when the national state of Romania emerged in the 1850s, so a very patriotic atmosphere. Now we can see the philosophers Diogenes and Aristotle next to Archangel Michael, who is protecting Saint Mary, who appropriately sits at the apex of the altar apse. And now the window of the altar decorated with Wallachian style pediment. On the other side of Mary, Saint Mary, is Archangel Gabriel, who brought the good news. Now we can see the philosopher Plato, for example. The frieze is continued, as I said, with the prophets, the Jewish prophets of the Church of Christ, depicted here in a kind of Gothic fashion, especially if you look at the crowns, which is typical for medieval Romanian church painting. We can see in the Cyrillic, which was used to render the Romanian language at that time, the name of Levi, Simon and Moses, for example. And the decorative scheme ends with a panel, interesting panel showing probably the end of the world. A monster with a scythe, a dragon watched by the moon and the sun.